Hey guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? The video I dropped the other day about I waited too long, well, it turns out I just didn't wait long enough. The 3D printers are back in stock and I ordered it up today. So we got a 3D printer and 2 spools of filament coming in. They said expect it in 3 to 5 business days. So I won't have it by the weekend. So I just been dicking around with, I looked up some 3D modeling stuff. Fusion's pretty intense, I'm not gonna lie. But I found a free one on Autodesk called, can't even remember the name of it, called Tinkercad. Dicking around and working on the negative for the Senko mold just to have some fun. And that's what I came up with basically. It's full 3D. You can maneuver it around and take a look. That's going to be the negative. So you got your sprue and then you got your pockets where the Senkos can go. And then you got this hole over here where the air can bleed out as you're filling it up with the stuff. Pretty sweet. Also, it looks like they came out with a new version of PLA. That's the 2 spools I bought. It's high heat resistance PLA, which if you ask me is friggin' awesome because that means I can print molds and pour molten hot plastisol in it and make lures. So I'm just dicking around with the Fusion or with the AutoCAD right now because I've never used a CAD design software before, except for what little bit I played with Fusion. And Fusion's pretty intense, but so is Adobe Photoshop, and I pretty much mastered that too. So I'll play around with this Tinkercad just to get the basics and the fundamentals down. I don't know what slicing application comes with the Ender Pro. So I got the Ender Pro 3 version 2. Some people say they're great, some people say they're garbage. I guess it's each their own. Everybody has problems. I expect to have problems. Nothing with the actual product itself. Mainly being a first-time printer, I'm gonna definitely run into some issues. That'll be a given. But it's gonna be a learning curve, and the end result, I'm hoping, is pretty friggin' awesome. So this should permit me to make some pretty good stuff because the printer can print in PLA, ABS, and there's other materials as well. And PLA comes in all forms, shapes, and sizes. I even saw one that apparently has metal infused into it. I just don't know if my printer can print that, so we probably won't go that way. But this high heat PLA, and I ended up getting transparent because I think transparent molds would be kind of cool, because that way there, as you're injecting your colored plastisol, you can watch the cavities fill and get an idea if you actually had enough to fill all the cavities, and then just let it sit to cool. And once it cools down enough, pop it open, take out your baits, and away you go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a double fold injection mold where it's gonna have like offsets that click together. Now most people, what they do is they'll insert like a cylinder shape, a socket, and then have a cylinder on top that clips into it. I saw one guy do it differently and I liked his style better. On each end of the mold, he had it recessed. So he had like a square on the side, square on the side, square on the side. So when it clicked together, it held together. And then of course you gotta clamp it. The PLA will warp over time. So I gotta get some of those pressure clamps so that when I put it together, I clamp it and then inject the mold. Now that mold I made should make 5 Senkos, which is pretty awesome because then you can just print off or you can just inject. If I make 2 molds, I can do 10 at a time and get 10 worms to go fishing. 10 worms should last me about 20 minutes. So the future looks like it's gonna be fun. Get to do some 3D printed molds, get to have some fun. Fishing starts in 1 month and 21 days. So if you want, you can say 51 days till open season. So I have 51 days to get my shit together, start producing some baits. Mind you, I got a lot of stuff to fish with right now. I have a lot of Senkos left over from last year, plus that fresh bag that Nikki got me for my birthday. And I'm pretty sure there will be a Bass Pro run in the near future, not to mention our local tackle stores. So that's gonna be kind of fun. I don't know, I'm gonna have a good time. I got a couple of ideas for some crankbaits that I wanna make, see if they work. Just fun like that, because to make a lipped crankbait on a 3D printer is super freaking easy and could be kind of fun. I watched a tutorial on how to make eyeballs using Adobe Photoshop, a color printer, and a hole punch. And that's also gonna be kind of fun. So I don't know, man. This year we're gonna have a little bit of fun between the car renos that I want to do, like stuff I want to do on the car to clean it up, fix it up, make it better. Between the 3D printing for printing gadgets to make life, quality of life better, and just in general, Once all this white shit finally leaves, life's gonna be fun. But with winter in effect, welcome to the walking pacing vlogs. Guess you can call it the walking dread. So this is my second last day of working from home. Afterwards, I go back to the office. A little bit nervous because I heard through the grapevine that apparently the office is, people took all the monitors home with them, and the only monitors they could find were from like 1966, and they're 4:3 aspect ratio. I hate that aspect ratio. That aspect ratio should have died with the 90s, but here we are. I'm really worried that the desk I'm gonna get is gonna have some shitty monitors or not enough monitors. And I'm almost kind of regretting saying I was gonna go back full time instead of just the 1 day a week. Worst case scenario, I'm pretty sure if I decided that working in the office is just not feasible due to the fact that there's not enough technology or enough equipment to work with, I'm pretty sure I can convince my boss to let me work from home on the days that I'm not serving in the on-site tech support lounge. That could be kind of cool, but whatever. We'll see how it plays out. Right now I'm scheduled to work Monday and Friday in the tech support lounge. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I have a desk to sit at. And the tech support lounge actually starts on the 11th, which kind of looking forward to it because it's something I've never done on my previous job because that was not what we did. Anyway, guys, I just came downstairs to rip off a coffee. This is my second coffee of the day. It's 11:30 right now. I got a meeting at 11:35 that I can't miss. And then pitter patter, have at her, man. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. It's been a pretty slow day today, which is why I was able to play with some AutoCAD. I got all my tickets done, so I got nothing better to do. So I figured, frig it, let's play with a little computer assisted design. But this program, if you're running Google Chrome, go download Firefox and run it in there. Way, 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 way better. Chrome is so freaking laggy with AutoCAD, it's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you on my lunch. All right, guys, it's motherfucking lunchtime, motherfucking lunchtime. I gotta bring some stuff downstairs because I got some stuff upstairs. All that other stuff and stuff. Something else I need to do tonight is clean up this mess because the 3D printer is going right back there where that jug of vegetable glycerin is, and that laptop and that stuff. That's an old drone in that case. Or that could be GoPro accessories. I'm not exactly sure. And by an old drone, I mean the one that Trey's gave me back in the day when he bought his DJI. Don't know which one it was, but ended up having to go and certify it because of that law that came out. Remember the old white DJI drones? They kind of look like a UFO with 4 props. They had a camera, well, the original ones came out, they had a GoPro mount on the bottom of them. And then later on, the DJI actually included a camera. Good little drones for the time, they did pretty good, but they're pretty big and bulky compared to the ones you can get now. The ones you get now are all folding and stuff, and the case they come in doesn't look like a milk crate. Pretty good shit. So anyway, I'm gonna let Oreo out because he probably has to go rock a dump. So 3D printing definitely sounds like something that's gonna be one hell of a learning curve. I was chatting with a coworker about it. Ooh, she's windy out, but it's a warm wind. It's plus 11 right now. This morning it was minus 8. Talk about a shift in temperature. Why is there a Sobeys package on the ground here? What the heck is this? What the heck was this? Whatever it was. Hopefully it's nothing needed because it was left out here. In the middle of the lawn, but yeah, we had one hell of a drop in temperature. I bet you my garage is flooded again. No mail. Good. But on a plus note, I wanted to have a fire this weekend. Totally can. We just got to walk through the sea of dog shit. There's a lot of it there, and I can't do anything until it dries up. So not my problem right now. I got bigger things to concern myself with. Front yard's starting to really melt. I appreciate it. Soon we'll have a lawn out there again. And then I gotta see if that mower is gonna actually work this year, if I'm investing in something new. Hoping the mower works. After buying this 3D printer, that's the last thing I want to pick up for a while because I need to save up and redo my bathroom and all that other fun stuff. So get the bathroom all back up to par, back up to snuff. And then a project for next winter I want to do is rebuild that computer room to make it more better and gooder and things. Like it was suggested, scrap the desks, build a new desk, something that's more suitable for what I want. The TV upstairs, that 32-inch LG, I bought that back in 2008, I think it was 2008, 2009, back when I bought the PlayStation 3, so we could have a TV downstairs, because we didn't have one in the living room. I only had the TV upstairs. Shouldn't say that I had a TV downstairs. It was a 32-inch tube TV that literally you had to turn it off and on multiple times for it to gradually turn on. I got it for free from a woman from work when I worked at Ontario. She's like, it does work, you just got to turn it off and on every once in a while, like when you first initially turn it on, and then gradually it will turn on. And I was like, all right, well, if it works, I don't have one, so I'll take her broken shit for free. And I did, and then used it for 3 years down here. And then I decided to buy a 32-inch, that 32-inch LG that's in the computer room now. And it finally kicked the bucket. Now I could replace the power board on it or service the power board, but that TV is only 720p and it's kind of got a thick ass bezel on it. Like you can get a 32-inch TV now that takes up a lot less real estate. I don't care about the onboard speakers because I got that kit from Amazon, that $30 Bluetooth receiver / whatever else. You plug speakers into it and away you go. And that's what I'll be using on there. So I'll just keep my eye on the Best Buy and all the other flyers. And if I see a TV come on for like a 32-inch for 99, or Walmart sometimes has them for 98 bucks, I'll scoop that up, replace it, put it in that spot there, and life will be glorious. Do I need a TV in that room? Probably not. I went almost a year without using that TV because I just watched everything off my computer because that TV had a real loud high-pitched squeal coming out of the speakers, which was the dead giveaway that we were getting capacitor bleed out. And it was just a matter of time before that TV shit the bed. That's what the Samsung did. And that's what other TVs that I've had did. So I'm not too worried about that one. She served her purpose. You know, I had it set up in there for a while, watched a lot of TV programs on it, or a lot of stuff on it like Netflix and YouTubes and Disney Plus and Amazon Prime and all that junk, and had it for like a good solid 12 years, and she finally cracked. So like I say, I'll just go out and pick up something else later on, but right now I really don't need a new TV, so probably just gonna send that one to the hazardous waste depot, and then maybe, like I say, when there's a deal, I'll scoop something up. Not gonna bother buying used because I'll just end up in the same ballpark a couple years later. Might as well just check out Walmart. Maybe you can get a smart TV for $1.49. Not sure if I need a smart TV up there, but if I get one, cool. If I don't have one, whatever, not a big deal. I sort of have a smart TV down here. I got the one with the Fire Stick. Fire Sticks are pretty sick. I almost thought about putting my other Fire Stick on the one upstairs, but whatever. I don't know what killed it, just probably time. Like I said, about a year ago, the speakers on it were making this really high-pitched squeal, and I looked it up to see, and it's like, oh, the power board's emitting EMF, and I'm like, oh, great, cool, awesome. That's just the starting point. So then I bought that thing from Amazon, which basically gives you the ability to plug in regular speakers. You can plug in anywhere from 2 ohm to 8 ohm speakers into it, and it's a 50 watts per channel amplifier. It has Bluetooth, it has an SD card reader, has a USB reader, and it has phono on the back to plug into a device. So I have it phono plugged into the TV. It plays audio pretty damn good. You know, I'm able to watch a lot of movies on there and all that and get good clean audio. So that was gonna be my solution, but I knew that TV was on its way out. It was just a matter of time. So that's why I was like, well, I'm gonna buy as much time as possible. And then before getting this, my new job, I would have been like, well, we're gonna take that TV apart and we're gonna source out a new main board for it or some components and fix it all back up. But now I'm like, I don't really need another TV in there. And if I do, I'll just go buy some cheap Insignia brand. Like Dad has a 39-inch Insignia brand. I shit you not, his 39-inch is not as wide as that 32-inch because of the amount of plastic on the bezel. Like, this is a TV from back in the day when plastic was perfect and they made it all shiny and stuff. So That was the style back then. Now everybody wants more panel, less plastic. And I'm one of those people. So pick up one of those TVs. I'd like to get a smart TV for the bedroom too. That'd be kind of cool. That way there at night, or even if I'm not even at night, during the day, if I just want to go lay down and watch a movie, I can just go lay down and watch a movie, turn the TV on, go on Netflix, put something on and lay in bed and watch it. It's been so long since I've actually laid in bed and watched a movie. Literally, it's been since I moved the bed out of the computer room and put it into the red room where I used to do all my video editing. Do you guys remember that time back in when I took the vacation to Mexico? I used to, like a year prior to that, all my video editing stuff was in there, and behind me was the white tables that are in the computer room now, and I used to do all my video editing from there. I used to have a dedicated DSL connection for video uploads, and that's what I would do. I would just spend, every time I got off work at midnight, the ex would be sleeping, so I would just spend all my time in there doing edits, getting things ready, filming flyer day or whatever, post-work scene I had to shoot, and then I would edit, and then send it to post, upload it to YouTube, and then go to bed, and then wake up the next day at either noon or 2, and then pick up the camera and go from there. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, you know, even though next week I go back to the office from 8 to 4, I get off at 4 o'clock, I come home, and there's no reason why I can't shoot a vlog every day of what's going on. The only reason why I wouldn't want to do it is if it's pretty boring. So hopefully it's not pretty boring. Like today's vlog is just about me telling you that I said, oh, I waited too long, way too soon, because literally I checked in, was it yesterday or the day before? Yeah, it was the day before. It was on Monday when I checked in, and I was like, oh shit, they sold out of freaking printers. What am I gonna do? So I put myself on the email list to notify me when the stock came in. I never got an email. If I wouldn't have went to the site, I wouldn't have known. So, but that's all right. And I was chatting with my coworker about printing, and I asked him about the metal filled filament and how good it is. And he said that he used it to print a couple gears off because he made a couple of 3D printed items, and PLA was holding up, but if there's any stress, the PLA would fold and the gear would fail. So he basically used the metal filled PLA, and he said it works awesome for making gears. It really gives them more tensile strength. So I got to thinking that maybe I should have picked up a spool of that PLA metal core, because that might have given the mold more rigidity when you're pouring your plastisol. So anyway, I made my Senko mold. It's, I'm gonna put the Skivinz logo on it because you can actually do that. You can import an image as long as it's black and white, and then you can make a reverse and you can put it into the mold so it can be an official Skivinz mold. Not saying I'm gonna sell these molds, but if people are out there making plastisol baits and they're looking for a mold and I come across something cool, I might as well brand it with my logo and give it to them and be like, here man, have a friggin' hand poured swim bait mold or something if you like the model, and enjoy it. You can even go one step further if you want, and this is kind of neat, in my mind anyway, probably not, but kind of sorta, is you can even go one step further and you can imprint a logo onto the actual bait itself. So like if you're doing freehand, overhand swim bait pours, and if any of you watch Marling Baits or Zimtech or any of the World's Worst Fishing and all that, you know, there's two types of ways to make plastisol baits. One is you inject it with an injector, so the mold is sealed. You have a sprue hole, and then you have a vent hole, and you literally, you squirt the super hot plastisol into the mold fills up, and then it pushes all the gas out the vent hole. Sometimes you get some plastisol out there too. No big deal. And the other way to make soft baits is hand pouring, where you just take like a Pyrex measuring glass. I think I have one in here. I'm gonna have to buy some Pyrex measuring cups for that project too. That'll all be going out in the garage. Like before we make baits, I gotta get the Trans Am out of the garage, and I gotta get cleaning up in there, putting stuff away, cleaning off the bench, figuring out where I'm gonna put the microwave, make sure the microwave still works because it kind of sat in a puddle all winter, but I think all the electronics are on the top end and the bottom end is nothing. And worst case scenario, I'll just go on Kijiji and pick up a used microwave. I don't care. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to work. Get some measuring cups and found out you can basically use resin dye. You don't need to go out and buy any special sort of dyes. So you don't have to buy like Dead On Plastics dye. You can just buy dye. And one of the cool things that, like I'm getting stoked about this. This is gonna be a lot of fun to be able to play. One of the cool things that World's Worst Fishing does, because that's all he does, is he makes plastic baits, like soft plastic baits. And he promotes a bunch of molds from different companies. He gives them a go. One of the things that he does is mixing the colors to try and invent a new color that could be fire. So that sounds like fun too. So yeah, I'll have to go to Walmart or something, get some. You got to use Pyrex. You can't buy the cheap glass freaking measuring cups from Dollarama. They fall apart when they're heated to 330 Fahrenheit to 350 Fahrenheit. They'll fall apart. And I have a point and shoot laser thermometer thing, so I'll have that out in the garage too to test the actual temperature of the plastisol so I can make sure it's up to par. Like I'm getting really excited, man. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I do want to design a top pour swim bait mold to use with whatever. I'm not sure exactly what style I'm gonna make, but I'm still playing around with that CAD software. I designed the GoPro battery mount so you can attach the battery to the tripod. Because something I want to do this summer when fishing, I think I mentioned it, but I'm not sure, is I'm going to take the GoPro Hero Session. I'm going to have it running alongside this camera here, so that when I do catch a fish, instead of showing you guys by holding it out at my chest and you just see this arm dangling a fish, I can actually walk up to the session and talk to you guys about, yeah, check this, here's a bass, and we'll weigh him up and be like, oh yeah, 3 pounds, or yeah, it's a squeaker, 0.25 pounds, you know, and do fun things like that and get the video of fishing and just have a good time. And then come home and edit up a video and send it up to YouTube and nobody watch it because it's a fishing video. But you know what? That's fine. I have fun making them. I have fun fishing. It's a fun hobby for me, especially for a guy who never had any hobbies before. COVID taught me to try new things, and fishing was one of the things I tried that was new that I really enjoyed. So camping, however, was different. Camping in the back of the truck when I did that. The only problem I had was I forgot to realize that those cots are not thermal proof, so the cold will shoot up from the bottom and go right through you. So you need to have some sort of a thermal pad or something laying on top of the cot to prevent the cold from bleeding up into you. Something else I want to try though is, you guys remember that tent a couple of years ago? I opened it up in the backyard and I couldn't get it closed. Well, I've become kind of a Pantene pro with closing the green screen and the little green screen. Like I got her down to a science. So I'm thinking I want to try and open that thing up again and see if I can close it any faster. And the whole reason for that is mainly because that's a pretty good tent. They sell those tents at Canadian Tire for like 200 bucks. Like, oh, they're 165. And I got it on sale. I remember when I bought that thing, I bought it for the intent of bringing it to Dave's farm back in the day, which, by the way, he's back on YouTube. Look up David Brock. I bought that with the intention to bring it to David's farm and camp in it. And I think I did bring it down, but we ended up not setting it up because I ended up sleeping in the shop. So not a big deal. But I brought it down because the whole idea was I was gonna set up my tent next to Bobby's tent and we were just gonna have like camp out. But because there was room in the shop for me to crash, I was like, well, why bother setting up the tent? I'm just gonna crash in the shop. Makes it easier, makes it better. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. But I found another one just like it on Amazon, and it's on for like $67 or something. It's like super cheap. And the tent is Realtree camo. You know me, I love my Realtree friggin' for life. It's a 1 to 2 person tent, which means me alone by myself, because a 1 to 2 person, I don't know how the heck they measure this out, but it's a tiny tent. When you fold it up into the circle, it's small enough to fit in the back of a backpack. Mine is kind of big. It's about the size of a hula hoop. So this one here, you can fold it up, fits into a backpack. You know, I could easily slap it in and make a kit, put that in there, my shovel, my saw, some fire starter, some food, some water, and we could go for a backpack bike ride somewhere down Highway 63, find a place to camp, set up shop and go. Not saying we're gonna do that. I'm just saying it's a possibility with this tent. It's a 3-season tent. It's the fabric on it is water repellent, which is pretty cool. A lot of them don't have that. The Rainfly does, but the actual tent itself doesn't. This tent is designed to repel water. It's another one of those, take it out of the bag, throw it in the air, and boom, instant tent. And then you just fold it back up and put it back into circle mode and you're done. Saw that on Amazon, thought it was really, really freaking cool, but don't need to buy it because I have my truck tent and I have the other tent. So we have 2 tents to use for camping this summer. If we go tent camping, I don't know if we will. We're just gonna play it by ear and see how we go. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this video down here. Just thought I would show you a little bit of the CAD that I've been working on. I got the Senko mold completed, basically. I got the top and the bottom done. I just gotta figure out now how to slice it. And for that, you need the 3D printer software to slice it up into the proper slicing files. So guess we'll have to wait for the 3D printer to show up and then figure it out. Our first print will not be the Senko mold though. Our first print is definitely going to be the boat because we need to do some benchmarking and tune that thing so that we're not wasting PLA on prints. We need to make sure that thing is up to snuff and ready to rock. So anyway, guys, on that note, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, guys, remember, live it to win it, and peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.